You need to think about success differently. So it is not about working harder, it is about thinking differently. And the top 1%, they don't just think differently, they are mentally wired differently. So most people, they struggle to succeed not because they lack talent, not because they are not capable, but because they are mentally wired in the wrong way. And in this video, I'm going to show you 5 powerful habits that rewire your brain for success. So habit number 1 is reframe stress. So most people talk about stress like it's a bad thing, like it's something to be avoided. But stress can be a good thing. Right? Stress can help you grow and it can help you perform better. And stress can be a bad thing. But here is what is important. Whether it's good stress or bad stress can depend on just how you think about it. So Kelly McGonigal, a health psychologist, she spoke about this in her TED Talk, and it was called How to Make Stress Your Friend. And she explained that the way that you think about stress can literally change how your body responds to it. So in one study, she shared that researchers, they tracked 30,000 adults and they did it over a course of 8 years. And they found that people who experienced high levels of stress had a 43% increased risk of dying, but only if they believed that stress was harmful. So those that didn't view stress as harmful, they had the lowest risk of death, even lower than people with little stress in their lives. So in other words, it wasn't necessarily the stress itself that was the problem. It was the mindset about the stress. So here is why this works. When you see stress as a challenge rather than a threat, your brain responds differently. So if you see stress as a threat, it can activate something in your brain called the amygdala, which is the fear center that triggers the fight or flight response. And it releases chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol, and over time, those can harm the body. But if you see stress as a challenge, or even better, as an indicator of growth, then it actually engages your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that is responsible for decision making and problem solving. So if you think of elite athletes, for example, right, they don't avoid stress, they harness it. So before a big game or a race, their hearts pound, their palms sweat, their adrenaline surges, but they interpret these signals as their body gearing up for peak performance. And there was a story that I loved from Dr. Lisa Feldman. So she is a leading neuroscientist. And when her daughter was coming up for a martial arts competition and she was really nervous, her coach, he came straight over to her and he didn't tell her to calm down. He told her to get her butterflies in formation, right? You work with the energy of stress to help you perform at a higher level. So the next time that you feel stress creeping in, see it as a friend instead of an enemy. Acknowledge it with this energy of positive anticipation and say something to yourself like, this is my body helping me rise to the challenge. And in her TED Talk, McGonigal calls this the biology of courage. So when you embrace stress, it's not something you have to battle against or fight against. You can actually use it to become stronger and more capable in that moment. Now, if you want to rewire your mind to unlock your own potential and transform your life, then click the first link in the description and join my Master Your Mind Accelerator program. I would love to see you on the inside. But for now, let's go to habit number 2, daily visualization and mental rehearsal. So your imagination is one of the most powerful tools that you have. And it was Einstein, he even said that imagination is more important than knowledge. And he was one of the most knowledgeable people in history. And he ranked imagination as more important. Why? Because it is our most powerful creative force. Everything that exists in the world first began in somebody's imagination. And when you actively engage your imagination through activities like visualization, it wires you for success. And here is why. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. So when you visualize something in detail, 3 powerful things happen. Number 1, you activate the same neural circuits as if you were actually doing it. In a famous study on basketball players, researchers divided participants into 3 groups to test free throw performance. Okay, in the first group, they practiced shooting free throws every day for 20 minutes. The second group, they did not practice at all. And the third group, they didn't physically practice, but instead they spent 20 minutes a day visualizing themselves successfully making free throws. And after 30 days, the group that physically practiced, they improved their free throw accuracy by 24%. But the most amazing part is the visualization group, they improved by 23%, almost identical to the physical practice group. Right? This is the power of visualization, of mental rehearsal. Your brain creates a kind of pre-wiring for success, and it makes the actions feel familiar and achievable when the time comes to execute. So reason number 2, when you visualize, it helps filter reality in your favor. So your brain starts filtering reality to highlight the things that will help you achieve your goals. And reason number 3, it makes success feel familiar. So we are creatures of comfort, right? And to our nervous system, what's familiar feels safe and what's unfamiliar feels unsafe. So if you are going after results that you have never achieved before, and you want a level of success that you've never experienced before, then it can feel unfamiliar. And then that kicks in all that fear talk. But when you visualize it, when you make it familiar, it becomes safe. It calms your nervous system down. So Michael Phelps, one of the most decorated Olympians, he imagined winning so often that when he actually did, he said he felt like it was deja vu. So here is how you do it. Spend 5 minutes a day vividly imagining your goals. And the best time to do this is in the morning. And the reason why is because your brain waves are in a highly suggestible state in those first 20 minutes of waking up. So picture yourself achieving your goals. Think about what it feels like. Think about even some of the sensory stuff, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, and just imagine how it feels achieving whatever it is that you're going after. Okay, this is not wishful thinking. This is mental conditioning. You are training your brain to believe. Habit number 3, micro goal setting. So big goals, they are inspiring, but they can also feel overwhelming. So break them down into micro goals, because every time you complete a small intentional action and you celebrate it, and this bit's super important and I'll tell you why in a moment, but when you complete a small task and you celebrate, your brain releases dopamine. And that's not just that feel-good chemical that we've all heard of, it's actually a motivation chemical because it's your brain's reward. So when it's released, your brain says, what just made that happen? Let's do it again. So ticking off small goals, because of the release of dopamine, it can actually make progress addictive. And researchers show that people who break down their goals into smaller, actionable steps and celebrate their progress are 42% more likely to achieve their goals. And there is another reason to celebrate. And it's not just because it helps you stay in momentum. It is because when you have a goal that you're going after, it is easy to focus on the gap, right? And when you do this, you will always feel behind. And what I mean when I say gap is that gap between where you are and where you want to go. And let me tell you, if you are a high achiever, which I know you are because you're watching this, then even when you get close to your goal, the post will move because your goals will get bigger. And so when you focus on the distance, on the gap between where you are and where you want to go, it can make you feel frustrated and all of those other feelings that make us feel bad about what we're going after because we're not there yet. But when you celebrate every step along the way, when you actually measure not from where you are to where you want to be, but from where you've come to where you are, when you recognize every micro milestone and you celebrate it, you are living in the game. And you continue to move towards your goals from a place of self-respect and not from a place of self-judgment. So the next time you set a goal, break it down into micro goals. Celebrate each step, no matter how small. Habit number 3, gratitude. Conditioning gratitude is one of the most powerful things that you can practice for success. And it's because it rewires your brain to be able to notice opportunities and it aligns you with the frequency of abundance. And here is how it works. And it is so simple. What you focus on expands. So the more you practice gratitude, the more your brain starts scanning for even more reasons to feel grateful. And it's that reticular activating system. Again, it's filtering reality for you. And getting deeper into the science of why gratitude is on the success list, it's because success isn't just about achievement. It's also about fulfillment. I was at this World Happiness Summit a couple of years ago, and there was a speaker there who said happiness doesn't come from having what you want, it comes from wanting what you have. And studies show that people who practice gratitude daily, they are 25% happier, they have lower cortisol levels, and they even sleep better. So here is how to start. Write down 3 things that you are grateful for each day. And they don't have to be big. It could be that you woke up in a bed or had a hot shower. Right? This wasn't an option 70 years ago, which blows my mind. We are so used to our comforts that it's so easy to overlook them. But if you just take a moment to connect with what we have, and over time, this simple practice, it can rewire your brain to focus on the good without effort. And this means that gratitude transforms from this fleeting feeling that you practice into just your state of being. And habit number 5, focused deep work. So in a world of constant distractions, focus is a superpower, and mastering it is one of the most valuable mental habits for success. Why? Because your attention is your most finite and powerful resource. Where attention goes, your energy flows. And ultimately, that is what shapes your results and your life. It was Cal Newport, who is the author of Deep Work, found that people who dedicate just 90 minutes a day to focused, undistracted work are exponentially more productive than those who let distractions rule their day. Why? Because deep work allows you to enter a flow state, right? This is a mental zone where your brain operates at peak performance. So in this state, your creativity, your problem solving, and your efficiency, they skyrocket. And it's where breakthroughs can happen. And most people, they actually spend their day multitasking, thinking that it helps them be more productive, but this is a myth. What you're actually doing, because multitasking doesn't exist, what you're actually doing is something called task switching. So every time you switch, your brain burns energy, and it can take up to 23 minutes to fully refocus. And that is why distractions, they don't just waste your time, they drain your mental energy and they lower the quality of your work. So the ability to focus deeply is what separates the top 1% from everybody else. Those who can master their attention, they can master their outcomes. So how do you master your attention? Now, most people will talk about things like the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of deep work and then taking a 5-minute break and then extending this over time and eliminating distractions, right? Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and put your phone in another room. And these tools, they definitely can help. But as a neuroencoding specialist, I can tell you that these are just external solutions, right? They create a better environment, but they don't address the root cause, right? Because focus doesn't come just from a tidy external environment. It comes from a tidy internal one. And here is what I mean. Attention follows intention. When you have a clear, intentional, and powerful why behind what you are doing, directing your attention becomes natural because your brain is primed to notice what aligns with your goals and to filter out what doesn't. So if you are struggling to focus, it's not just about shutting down distractions. It's about getting radically clear on what matters and why it matters to you. So they are the top 5. Reframing stress, visualize your success, micro goal setting and celebrating, gratitude, and deep work. And when you actually layer these on, you'll see that success isn't about doing more, it's about mastering the mental habits that allow you to focus, to adapt, and to actually be able to perform at your peak. So if you are still here, then you have got some power plays to be able to build some mental habits for success. But I want you to hear this before you go, right? Knowledge is not power. It is only potential power. The real transformation happens when you take what you've learned in this video and you apply it to your life. So before you leave, just make a commitment to do at least one of these. And I would love to hear how you get on, so just drop it in the comments or message me. My name is Jodie Jackson, and I hope you enjoyed this video. My mission is to keep helping millions around the world train their brain for peak performance and lasting well-being so that they can achieve their biggest goals and build the life that they know they are meant for. And if you want to go deeper, click the link below and I'll see you on the inside.